I think President Trump wants to achieve quick results here. Now, it's a difficult situation. Is it possible? Yes, but he needs to listen to what the European leaders have to say about how to deal with Russia, and he needs to listen to Zelensky because he's got it wrong. It's not Putin who wants to end the war, it's Zelensky.
Let's continue this conversation then, get more reaction now from Igor Novikov, who's a former advisor to President Zelensky on US relations. Igor, good evening to you.
Good evening. Good evening from Kiev.
Welcome along. What do you make of that meeting then, of how Volodymyr Zelensky handled himself, of course, in the shadow of what was a sort of horrendous meeting first time round 6 months ago?
I'm pleasantly surprised by the atmosphere in the meeting, and I don't blame President Zelensky for what happened in February. I think a lot of factors were at play at that point, but I think this meeting is completely different. Now, what's more important to me is what happens behind the closed doors, because the issue at stake here is very complex and painful to Ukraine. So there's a lot of work to do.
A lot of work to do. Do you think the work will be done? Are you picking up that this is a significant turning point in the discussions about ending the war? We've gone, of course, from a ceasefire, haven't we, to Donald Trump pushing for what Vladimir Putin said he wanted in Alaska on Friday, which is a peace deal. Forget about a temporary ceasefire. He wants the full works. Do you think what you're hearing today makes a suitable path to that?
Well, let's unpack that point by point. So first and foremost, being Ukrainian, I don't trust, the Russian president or, the Russian government. So I still believe that Russia is trying to play President Trump in hope of actually delaying, any progress and hopefully blaming Ukraine. But that obviously hasn't worked yet for them. So that's kind of my first point. The second point being is that I don't think ceasefire is off the table, and let me explain to you why. There are a lot of preconditions, some of them coming from Russia, such as, for example, ceding territory, whatever you call it. That can't be done in Ukraine legally without consulting the people. We're a democracy. So there might even be a need for a national referendum. Now, that can't happen if, our cities are being hit with cruise missiles and drones and everything. So fighting elections, another prerequisite from Putin and from Trump as well. That can't happen, unless there's ceasefire. So it's a chicken or an egg problem here, and I think ceasefire will still come first before any potential peace deal.
Okay.
Now, how we arrive there, that's a different question.
All right. Well, let's just talk about elections, because Zelensky was asked about holding elections in Ukraine. Of course, Vladimir Putin wants there to be a change of leadership. Vladimir Zelensky is one of the sticking points, one of the issues that Putin has with any kind of peace deal or even ceasefire potentially with Ukraine. So here's Zelensky being asked about elections.
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have to do safety circumstances, and a little bit we need to work in the parliament, because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, in the battlefield, in the sky, and the sea, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
Yeah, so reiterating, not safe to hold elections during wartime, but he has said he would be prepared to hold them.
Yeah, definitely. And I've spoken to him about this a number of times. He's open to elections. He's still Ukraine's top politician, most popular politician. So I don't see a problem with that. But it's Russia that likes to hold referendums under gunpoint. It's not going to happen in Ukraine. We have soldiers in the trenches. We have refugees in Europe and elsewhere. We have people, running for cover every night. So that needs to be taken into account before electing a new government.
Have we got any kind of indication, Igor, whether Donald Trump is any more on the side of Vladimir Putin or Volodymyr Zelensky?
I think he's interested in his short-term expectations first and foremost, and there are two reasons for that. Everyone talks about the Nobel Peace Prize, but I think it's more to do with the midterms next year because the political campaign in the US actually begins in October, and he hopes to achieve results there because, that sight of, American soldiers kneeling to roll out the red carpet to the present day bin Laden that didn't go down well even with the most radical like MAGA crowd. So I think President Trump wants to achieve quick results here. Now it's a difficult situation. Is it possible? Yes, but he needs to listen to what the European leaders have to say about how to deal with Russia, and he needs to listen to Zelensky because he's got it wrong. It's not Putin who wants to end the war; it's Zelensky.
Uh, Donald Trump then probably more on the side of himself, but we'll see where that lands in Ukraine or Russia's favour, or maybe there can be a compromise found. Just finally, what do you want to hear from European leaders later? There are plenty there to back up Volodymyr Zelensky. How do they best do that? What can they push for furthermore here? We already know that the US, and this is a new line, are believed to get involved, are believed to be happy to get involved in some sort of security guarantee for Ukraine. What else do European leaders need to press on here?
Well, there's an elephant in the living room here that everyone seems to miss. I think whether this war ends soon or not, it's not the end of the road. I think, China hasn't spoken yet, and I think China is, playing a part here, albeit silently. So what I really want to see is
How so? How so? Just qualify that if you can, Igor.
Well, there's one man in the world who can stop this war in 24 hours, and that's Xi Jinping. It's not President Trump. Putin is effectively his lapdog. He's dependent on him. They have a huge land border. China is light years ahead of Russia and effectively controls Russian economy. So if China wanted this war ended, it would have ended in 24 hours. That I truly believe.
Okay. All right. And then on to the point, sorry, about the elephant in the room. Is that Xi Jinping or are we talking about territory?
No. The elephant in the room is the new arms race, with AI, robotics, new armies, militaries, quantum computing, and everything else. It's the economic race between the US and China. It's basically reshaping the world. It's the brand new world. And, one important kind of player I want to see there is a united Europe. And I'm not talking about institutions. I'm talking about people of Europe uniting. Otherwise, we're in danger of losing out.
Okay, well, look, territory is another issue. What can be ceded? Who will walk away with what? Where are the red lines from both sides? We'll talk more about that in the show. It's been really interesting to speak to you, Igor Novikov. Thank you, former advisor to President Zelensky on US relations.